Commercially, our film was a slow starter. It wasn't well received. It also, playing opposite E.T., so what do you expect? My name is Michael Deeley. I'm a film producer, and my favourite production is Blade Runner. Although it's my favourite film, it's also true to say it was a pretty tough film. And this one, to make it right, had to be difficult. The idea that led to the movie was indirectly a book. I'd never seen anything like it before, and what I've tried to do is films which I've never seen anything like before, and this is it. I had to go around to the studios to get finance. I couldn't imagine myself walking into anybody's office in Hollywood and saying, would you care to put up a few $1 million to make a film called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? We always had a different title. It started off being called Dangerous Days when we were working on it, and then finally we novelled Blade Runner. And the question, of course, was who was going to direct it. Ridley, I'd always wanted to do it because I knew him, and he was a natural person to do it after Alien. And he at first didn't want to because he was committed to doing a version of Dune. Unfortunately for him, tragically, his elder brother died, and he just had to dive into work rather than a 2-year project. So he was ready to go as fast as we could get it set up. Once we got Ridley, he needed to make some quite material changes to the look of the film, the nature of the film. And Hampton Fancher had written a script which was beautiful, but romantic in a way that you would perhaps not call the final version of this picture. And another writer was brought onto it. One did the structure and the other did the hardening up, the dysfunctionism and all that stuff. When we got to the casting of the picture, we did try or think of a lot of different people. One of them was even Dustin Hoffman, who would have been quite a sinister figure, we thought, but eventually they got talked to death and never happened. Finally, we got to see some of the rushes of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which Steven Spielberg let us watch in London. And Harrison Ford just came across as a leading man. And that was it. And we got him, and that was the end. He brought a sort of classic style. We didn't actually want a quirky decade in the end, which certainly would have been Dustin Hoffman. We wanted really a classic figure. And he couldn't wear the hat, but he could do everything else. Ridley would be up on a crane moving ashtrays, because to his eye, in the picture, and if he can see it, it's got to be perfect. And meanwhile, the movie star was chafing down below because he wasn't being told what to do. Ridley was pretty well oblivious to any concern of that sort, and he believed fully that he got an actor who could do everything he needed to do and didn't need to be cuddled the whole time. And the problem was, in this case, that this actor had been looked after very much, and really wasn't into that. Of all the cuts, definitely the last cut. It's by far the better film. Really is. And the first version was scrambled, the second version was midway, but this film made it. After we cast our star, we had some very important roles to fulfill, and we wanted to get a group of, frankly, not well-known actors, because particularly the replicants, we're presenting them as creatures who've been manufactured, and it's not much good if last week you saw him on television. And Rutger Hauer had done a major film, which was Soldier of Orange, a Dutch film, and was known to anybody who was interested in classic cinema, but wasn't publicly generally known, particularly in America. And so out of that picture, we found a perfect man to play Batty. And at the end sequence, he actually wrote the famous speech, which is so good, before he releases the dove. He wrote it.
Time.